Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY I hope you're having a wonderful day. On this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these adorable ladies ball caps. We're going to be using some canvas duck fabric. We're going to be using a hat, and I have a lot of ideas of what you could do. We'll be using this adorable stencil, which is called Faith Minis, and it's from magnoliadiy.com. We'll be using a little ink. We might use a little bit of lace. We could potentially use some bling or some buttons. There's tons, tons of different options for what we could do. So let's start with the hat. All right, both of these hats came from Walmart today. They were a little on the pricier side, but I didn't feel like going anywhere else to hunt down a less expensive cap, which you certainly can. So this one was $4.97, and this one was $7.97. I had to be at Walmart to get groceries. So I was like, I'm just gonna get this taken care of while I'm here right now. Other places to find caps are Dollar Tree sometimes has them for $1. You can look around at any shops for caps that are on sale. And because we're gonna be making these patches out of canvas, you also can shop your own closets or your children's closets for caps that have different logos and things on them that they don't care about anymore. And it can be absolutely whatever color you like. I personally love this one, I think the best, but we'll see when this is done whether I like black or the super neutral one. So I'm going to show you first of all how to make these patches out of canvas duck fabric. Then we're gonna make some rolled rosettes for the hat. Okay, so it should be fun. As you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know that I'm not just standing here in my craft room talking to my phone, which sometimes that's what it feels like. I do see people hopping on, yay. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to sprinkle, especially if you think this is adorable, which I really think it is. Yeah, and I'll get links for you to this specific stencil and anything else you want when I'm all finished. So I just wanted to mix things up today, and I was just thinking, you know, when spring gets here and we start to get out for walks and maybe to attend different things outdoors, that it would be fun to have a cute homemade ball cap. And these are so easy to put together. You could make gifts for all the other people in your life, ladies mostly. I don't know that a man would wear this kind of a cap with a rolled rosette flower on it, but maybe. Okay, so let's start with the canvas. This canvas, I believe, is the canvas that I bought at Joann's a couple weeks ago. I was desperate because my Walmart, where I normally buy my canvas, didn't have any of this cream in stock. When I get it from Walmart, it's around $6 a yard. When I bought 1 yard at Joann's, or maybe I bought 2. I think I only bought 1. It was like $14 a yard. So look at Walmart, look online, you can order it. You just want a canvas duck that's gonna be pretty thick. That works the best. And muslin is not the same thing. Muslin tends to be very thin in my experience. So I don't think it works that great for this project. Okay, so we need to get our little patch, which can be either a rectangle or it could be a circle if you wanted to cut that out, or it could be square. It's totally up to you. And I'm just going to take a little snip in this piece and tear it. Okay, and then we'll pull out some of those strings, but we'll get that all cleaned up in just a second. Then we'll take another little snip right here. Tear of that. And then let's take another little snip right here. Can you see how you do that? And the great thing with canvas deck is that it tends to tear straight. So this is what I have. This is the start of my little patch. Okay, so then I'm going to pull some of the strings out to give it kind of a fringy edge. You just start pulling them out. And you can keep doing that as much or as little as you want. All right. Sometimes after I've stenciled it and it's dried, then I'll continue to pull out more strings and I'll trim it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to set it on top of a paper towel here on my craft desk. And this is the stencils that we'll be using. This is a great set. Oh my gosh, you can do so many things with this. It's all different faith quotes versus ideas. And there's 12 pieces. So I am thinking that we'll do this one that says Jesus is life. Of course, you could do whatever you want. Walk by faith, faith over fear, word of life. This might be good for Valentine's Day, love never fails. I mean, there's a bunch of great ones here. But I'm going to do Jesus is life. Okay, so I'm taking it off with a little backing sheet, which has the label on it. And I'm not going to fuzz it because I'm going on to fabric. If I was going on to wood or glass or metal or something like that, I would fuzz it, and you can do that just on your jeans, on a t-shirt, or on the actual fuzzing cloth that Magnolia has. Okay, let's get this centered. Okay. So that's what that looks like. These are minis, yes, Linda. And it comes in this, I don't know what this is, 8.5 by 11 sheet. And then you can see where the lines are. You can just cut them apart. So you can do a bazillion different projects with that. And if you want a link direct to that, when I'm done, I'll be glad to get you one. Okay, so I've pushed that down. I'm going to use a little bit of black Magnolia ink, but you could use whatever color you would like. And it isn't going to take very much. Let me see if I can come a little bit further down. Sometimes when I do that, I feel like I'm going to tip over. Okay, if these comments right here are in your way, you should be able to swipe them side to side or up and down, either with your finger, with your cursor, or with your mouse, depending on what device you're on. And then if you want them back, just go the opposite direction. Okay, so I'm going to apply my ink. I'm not putting it on super thick, but I'm just getting everything covered. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pull off the excess. Just kind of like I'm scraping the excess off, and I'm looking to see, did I get every little bit of my design covered? I just saw a spot that I did not. Okay, and then oops, I will put my, I'm gonna throw my squeegee over here in my tub of water. And this is what it looks like. So I'm just gonna take it off carefully. I tore this patch pretty close to the size of the stencil, so there's not a lot to grab onto. I'm just pulling it off carefully and slowly. Perfect! And I'm throwing my little stencil into a tub of water over here, face down, until I can get in the kitchen to, look how cute that is. Isn't that an adorable patch? until I can get in the kitchen to spray off my stencils with some cool water, with the kitchen sprayer in the sink. And then I'll lay them sticky side up on the counter to dry. And that's it. It's pretty darn easy. Okay, so I showed you how to make the little patches. I want to show you now how to heat set them. This is one that I did before. And basically, here's my little iron. Basically what you're going to do after they're thoroughly dry, a couple hours at least, you're going to use some parchment paper or something like that and lay that over the top of your little patch that has the ink stencil design on it. My iron is set on cotton, no steam, and I'm just going to go over it for a couple minutes on the front, and then I'll flip it over and do the same on the back, which I have already done, but I just wanted to show that to you. And the reason why I would set this with an iron is because you might be wearing this cap outside sometime when it's raining. And so I just want to make sure that this ink is gonna stay for good. Okay, so let's make the rosettes now. And the rosettes can look like this, or they could be smaller. However, I'm loving the big one, so I think we'll make another big one like this for the black hat. Okay, so we need a place where there's a pretty long strip. And this is where I've torn it at some point. Just pull up a few little strings here. Make this fringy, and we can further fringify that when we're done. And I'm going to cut a strip. I don't know. These can be as wide or as narrow as you want. Okay, so there's a little nip there, and I'm just going to tear it. What are you guys saying? What do you guys think so far? Do you like this project? Just imagine if you had that Faith Mini stencil, you could make a ton of ball caps for not very much money. And if you have a bunch of ball caps that are hanging out in the closet and not getting worn, and they have, you know, some company name or a team name or something that is not really relevant to you anymore, you can use those and cover that with the patches that we just made. Okay, so I'm just adding a little additional fringe to this, kind of on both sides. By pulling the strings, can you see what I'm talking about? And then we need a piece of this same fabric to glue it on. And I'm not going to trim it right now, so it's a funny shape, like Washington State or something. Okay, let's cut this junk off right here. And the rosettes always start the same way. They always start with a little knot. So I'm folding my little strip in half. Can you see that? And then I'm going to do just a knot right here at the end and pull it up nice and tight. And this right here, this knot is going to be the center of your rosette. So I'm going to cut this little bit right here off. And today, like most days, I'm using a low temperature hot glue gun. This one's a Surebonder Cool Shot. It's low temperature, which is good because this is a project where you could get glue, hot glue, on your hands. And if it's hot glue, those glue burns hurt. How do you sign up to get the monthly kits? I will send you a link as soon as I'm done. Okay, so let's put a blob in the center here of glue. And then we're just going to kind of set our center of our flower in it. See what I've got going right there? And now what you're essentially going to be doing is you're sort of twirling this long strip, and sometimes it's folded, and then you're twisting it around the center of the rosette into some glue, and I'm just laying some glue down around it, and I'll show you. This is a messy, it's supposed to be a messy project, so don't think that you have to do any specific thing exactly right. I'm going to do one more little strip, and then I'm just twirling and twisting and pushing it into the glue. I'll pick it up and show you. See, there's the start of our rosette. And let's keep going. Putting the glue in pretty close to the center, and I'm just pushing this long strip right into that. And sometimes the fringe is up and sometimes the fringe is down, and I think that's what gives this, you know, some charm. I made these hats with some different stencils on them about 8 months ago, I think, to take to the two owners of Magnolia Design Company when I was going to the Pinners Conference in Atlanta, and they loved them, and they turned out so cute. I think if I remember right, I did black for both of theirs. But it was I think it was pretty much exactly the same technique. And I just felt like doing something different today from what we've been doing, which is a lot of Valentine's Day projects. So why not? Let's make some ball caps. You're gonna just keep going however long you want to. I'm just gonna finish all of this strip up, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, here's the rolled rosette and a million glue strings. Jo says she loves these crafts. I love flowers too. Yeah, I love making flowers. I have a little bit of a flower thing. Okay, so now I'm looking all the way around my rolled rosette for areas that maybe I need a little bit more glue, just for it to be completely attached to the backing. I think that's good. And then I'm going to cut roughly around it. And I'm trying not to cut the fringe off the rolled rosette if possible. And it does not have to be a circle. I'm going to show you because this is clearly not a circle. Oh, that part. Okay, here's the front and here's the back. All right, now I want to use a little bit of lace on mine, and I have several choices. This is some lace that comes from Hobby Lobby. It's in the wedding section, and it's, I don't remember exactly how much it costs, but it's not expensive. It's kind of stiff, that's the only thing. And then I'm using my last little bit of my favorite lace that came from Walmart. This is what I'm going to use. They don't carry it anymore, which makes me so sad. But what are you going to do? So let's just put a whole bunch of glue on the back of our rosette. And we're going to push it into the lace. You can see already that I do have glue on my fingers, and it did not hurt. But I tell you what, if you were using a hot glue gun, it would hurt. Okay, so now we want to look around it and see what little areas still need to be glued into this lace. And that's what we're going to do right now. And then we'll make a leaf. Okay, so this is what this looks like. And I'm just going to cut sort of a circle around it. This just gives it a little bit more dimension. It's really wanting to roll. We'll put our leaf right in this spot where it's a little bare. What do you guys think? Well, hey friend Hilda, how are you doing? Hi Sandra. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a leaf. And let's just use this little scrap. And I'm going to just cut what sort of looks like a leaf. Kind of. And what you're going to do here is you're going to put a little strip of glue down the center, just part way, and then you're going to fold it over on itself. And what that does is that gives your leaf a little bit of like dimension. I don't know, something. It makes it not look so flat. Okay, where was the spot that I needed to cover up? Right here. I'm just going to glue this right over that spot. And dun, dun, dun. There we go. Okay, so now let's assemble our project. And got this little strings, they feel like crumbs everywhere. Okay, so this hat came from Walmart in case you joined us late. But if you have ball caps hanging out that have little something right here that you don't care about, you can repurpose old ball caps and just make these patches. That's what I'm calling them, patches. And cover up whatever you want to cover up. So you can, but you can get ball caps all over. Okay, now let me look at this and see. Flower on the right side. Okay, the first thing we need to do is tack this down right at the area where it meets, the hat meets the brim. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this area right here, where the cap meets the brim of the, because I want this to lay flat. And so you kind of are going to stretch your little piece, your patch, just a little bit to get it to lay flat over that. And on this one, I put it a little bit off to the side so we have more room for this bigger rosette, which I think does actually look cuter to use the bigger ones rather than the smaller, but that's personal preference. Okay, and then we're gonna just tack the edges. You don't have to use a ton of glue for this part. And I'm gonna do the same down here. And I'm gonna need to get my lint roller to get all the fuzz off of this. And now let's put our little flower on. It's gonna be absolutely adorable. Sometimes I tickle myself. And this is one of those times, because this turned out so super cute. All right, let me get a little bit of the lint off here, and I'll put it on so you can see what it's going to look like. If you had some ball caps that you could repurpose, and you got a little bit of the canvas stack fabric, you could crank out a whole bunch of gifts, and it would be super cute. Let's take my glasses off my head first. What do you think? Isn't it cute? So if you wanted, you could do like a smaller one on the other side, but I'm kind of thinking that just one is great. You could use buttons. You could use little pieces of bling. It's just totally whatever your personal style is. But I think they turned out pretty darn cute. Here's the cream colored one, or tan, and here's this one. This one says Child of God, and this one says Saved by Grace. And so just to review, in case you jumped on late, we used this stencil right here, which has 12 pieces. They're all faith ideas. Walk by faith, faith over fear, Jesus is alive, pray, trust, wait, Jesus loves me, word of life. You know, there's all kinds of great little bits. And then we use some of this Magnolia ink. You could do whatever color you wanted. Then we used this canvas, that this in particular came from Joann's, but it was more expensive. So I recommend that you look first at your Walmart. It would be in the fabric section if your Walmart has a fabric. And it was actually, this stuff I like to buy is around $6, and it's on a bolt, and it's pretty thick. So that's, and then we used low temperature hot glue, and that is pretty much what we did. And I just think they're adorable. I hope you do too. Trying to see if I can get them both in here. So, if you want to see, I'm going to be coming back in just a few minutes to show you what came in this huge box last night. So if you want to see that, just be looking for me to come live again in the next 15 minutes or so. But do a this or a this. Or this, that's a heart. Or say something to me here in these comments, and make sure that you've liked and followed DIY Dreaming. And those things make it a little bit more likely that Facebook will actually show you what I'm doing. And I would love to have you join me tomorrow for Christ in Crafting. That's my favorite crafting day of the whole week. And I seriously would love to have you join me here at DIY Dreaming. I usually do it between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoons, and it just kind of depends on how much prep time and how much studying I need to do to prepare to do the craft, and then to prepare to share God's Word. But it's usually, well, I love it. So I would love for you to join me. And great caps for Bad Hair Day. Yeah. And as spring comes and we're outside more, maybe walking our dogs, or I don't know when baseball starts, but out doing outdoor sports stuff or out with your kids, I just think having a fun cap, which way do I need to go, with something cute on it, could be really fun to do. and especially if you can repurpose a cap that you already have hanging out. And then all you're doing is making a patch to cover up whatever might be on the cap, and then making a rolled rosette to set right next to it. So, alrighty, thanks for joining me. Look for me again in about 15 minutes. See you later.